How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to our very first Alpha Clash video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today we're going to talk about what Alpha Clash is and why you should maybe consider picking it up and trying it out. Because, spoilers, I think you should. I really think you should. But I do have some initial fairly harsh criticisms against the game that I straight up told to the devs. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how I have basically changed my mind on the game. There's been we'll get into it, but rest assured, in this video, we will be opening up this entire booster box in like the second half. The first half is just going to be talking about what Alpha Clash is and my first like initial thoughts and experiences with the game. So we're just going to kind of set that off to the side. All right, let's talk about Alpha Clash. So Alpha Clash is an indie superhero trading card game. And honestly, before I really started diving into it, I didn't realize that this was something that was like missing in my card gaming repertoire. You know, I play Flesh and Blood. It's like a dark fantasy card game. I play Grand Archive, like an anime card game. And a superhero, like an indie superhero trading card game, really fits into my repertoire of what I'm playing with now. And it's honestly kind of like a breath of fresh air, right? The art is really good, the gameplay is really solid, and those are the two things that I personally look for when I check out any new trading card game. Is it aesthetically pleasing, and is the gameplay good? Because if those two things are met, and the company is heading in the right place, right? If they have the right minds about themselves, and I really do think the Alpha Clash team does, then I think everything else will follow, right? If the cards look great, if the game plays great, and then of course, if the devs have the right mind about business and all of this kind of stuff, then everything else will follow. And I actually think Alpha Clash has all of those things. So you know what? Let me show off a little bit what the cards look like. So I want to show this one off first. This is a promo card of, is it like Kaghan the Dragon? What's really cool about this is actually done by a Flesh and Blood artist, and not just any Flesh and Blood artist. This is done by Bima, and fans of the channel will know that I've worked with Bima before. He did our 10K celebration splash art, so they have legit really good artists. And I kind of want to just show the cards here because they look really good. We'll kind of take a better look at a top-down later, but like just look at these. Here's one of my favorite characters, Clarity. She's one of the, essentially like the hero, champion. There's a good number of them in the game. There's currently 5 right now, but she's one of the big leaders. Here's Flare. Also very, very much love Flare for obvious reasons. We also have some dudes here. This is Apex. He looks pretty rad. We have Aster, one of the big chase cards. This is what they call an alpha rare. There's only one of them in the set. Here is one of the iconic rares, which is this really cool stylized alt art thing. And then we have back to Kaghan. And like, honestly, these look really good. Almost every card has like this full art treatment, and it's not one of those things where you're like, okay, if everything's special, then nothing is. I just think it looks really good and really clean, and it makes the art stand out and pop, and we'll get to that when we open up the booster box, so you'll see what more of the normal cards look like. These are like foils and promos and, you know, fancy stuff, but even the normal cards look really good. We'll also talk about the gameplay when we start opening up the booster packs, and I'll talk about card types and all that kind of stuff, but it's similar to Magic, but different in a lot of ways. It has some similar mechanics to the WoW TCG, but different in a lot of ways. There are traps like Yu-Gi-Oh, but different in a lot of ways. So it's a game that mixes a lot of familiar things, and I think it turns into something that is fairly unique. It's a very fast-paced and kind of powerful feeling game, kind of explosive, whereas like if you are a fan of the channel, you watch a lot of my Flesh and Blood content, you'll know that Flesh and Blood is a game where you have this incremental advantage over time, and you can have these big swingy turns, but Alpha Clash has a lot more of these big, splashy, swingy turns, and I really, really enjoy it. So before we get to any of that stuff, I do want to mention a couple of the criticisms that I had initially. So I have been in contact with the developers for Alpha Clash for a while, since before their Kickstarter. Currently, the game is set to officially launch this month, actually, in just a few short weeks. And they had been in contact with me for quite a while now. They initially had sent me this graphic novel. So I read the graphic novel. It's pretty good, actually. I would say the plot is similar to The Boys, if you know what that is. There's like superheroes, but they're not good. And the regular people, or some regular people, trying to take them out, but that's not exactly the whole plot. There's a lot more to it than that. It's really cool, actually. I think this is pretty good. But they sent me this. They sent me like 2 sample packs and then like a play mat, and I'll be completely honest. I was very much not impressed by the sample pack cardstock. I thought it felt very cheap. It felt like one of the old games from the 90s. You know, I like to collect and play a lot of old trading card games, and the sample pack felt like one of the cheap ones from the 90s, not like one of the good ones. I will say, though, that the new cards, like the actual cards, feel much, much better. They actually feel quite good, and as you saw, the foiling and cardstock and everything actually looks very, very nice. If you like this kind of like, I don't even want to call it, like this particular style of foil finish. And then also, like, on their Kickstarter, there was a large focus on collectability over playability, and for me personally, I want to see that focus on playability. Like I said, I think the game needs to play excellent, and it needs to look excellent. And I am happy to report that after playing the game, yes, I do think it is very good and very fun. But initially, those are my first impressions, right? We had, like, the bad card stock, we had, like, the focus on collectability, and as I've already said, I literally told that to the devs, and I haven't played with the constructed, the tuned top tier decks yet, but I have played with like demo decks and starter decks, and they're good and they're fun, and it makes me excited to play more. I like the world, I like the characters, and yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. The other thing is that really sold me was Team Covenant recently had an interview with Ridge, the creator of Alpha Clash, and that interview was very enlightening, and it honestly helped me kind of like, I don't want to say like change my mind, but it caused me to give Alpha Clash a second look, and I looked really hard this second time, and I started to see these things that I'm talking about here, and the more I looked at it, the more I looked into it, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm a big supporter of indie projects in general, and like I said, an indie superhero card game that has great art, great gameplay, and a company with a good mind is perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. You know, I play a lot of Flesh and Blood, I play a lot of Grand Archive, I'm going to be playing a lot of Shadowverse, but when I have downtime with all of these games, it's nice to have something that's kind of a breath of fresh air to change things up, and like a superhero game is just sweet. And if you didn't know, I'm actually a fairly big superhero fan. Before I got into manga, I have a ton of old Batman comics, Turok, Spawn. I posted on my Twitter about this, so you can go see. I have some like Infinity War stuff, but yeah. So with all that said, let's go to a top-down view. Take a look at some product. We're gonna open up a booster box and just show off some promos and some other cool stuff, just to give you a full idea of what Alpha Clash has to offer, because these are the kind of videos that I would like to watch if I wanted to get into a new card game, and I'm going to show you all of the things basically that I would be interested in. So let's do it. All right, and we have a whole slew of things to get through before we open up this booster box of The Awakening, which is also the name of their first set, as well as the name of the graphic novel. And at this point in time, I would like to mention that, yeah, they want to make this a whole IP, but in a way that feels like really fun and genuine, right? They want to make graphic novels, comics, but also actual just straight up novels. They care about the world and the lore. Like, people who care don't spend this much time making graphic novels and just regular novels, right? They really care about the world they're creating, and it really shows. You can see the passion behind it. And that's one of the reasons why I love indie projects like this, and especially ones that really feel like they can go the distance. And I think Alpha Clash definitely has that potential. We're gonna take a look at some cards here. Everything from some really early cards to some promos that they sent me, and some other products. So you saw the booster box. They also have these blister packs available. They're blister packs. They have booster packs inside. We're going to open them up in today's video, because why not? And then they also have this Clash pack, which is basically a 2-player starter deck thing. And we're going to do a full separate videos on this, opening this up, talking about whether I think it's a good product, whether I think it's worth it or not. And spoilers, if you just want the TLDR right now, yeah, I think it's a pretty good starter set. It's a little on the expensive side, but I still think it's great, and it comes with some really cool looking cards, and the decks are powerful. That's one of the things I like about this, is that the decks don't feel like weak, watered down decks. They feel strong. Not as strong as like fully constructed decks, but they still feel like quite good. And so, yeah, let's check out some of this stuff first. So this is one of the cards that I got from the, I don't know, like test packs that they sent me. And I just was really not a fan of this card stock. It felt really flimsy and kind of cheap, very papery, but not papery in like a normal cardstock way. It's hard to describe. But yeah, and all the cards like stuck together, they just didn't feel good. And now here we have, and you can see like even the color is much better. Here we have the final product version, or at least the Kickstarter product version. And one thing I like to note is that they flipped the art and the characters, so like the cool bit is not covered up by that contender thing. And you can see some mechanics changes. You can even see how they made the font bigger and a little bit more legible here. But also the cardstock is much better. I don't know if you can maybe see. Yeah, you can see this one is a little bit more glossy. This one's a little bit more matte. Because of that, this is like the cards just stuck together. This one's much better, and they just feel a lot nicer. And as you can see, the color is a lot more vibrant on them too. So I think the cardstock is pretty good, right? It's not the best I've ever seen in a card game. That might actually be Grand Archive, but quite good. Good. The cards feel good when you have a big stack of them, you flip through them, they feel nice. So these are actually the promos that they sent me, and they actually sent me, you know, a decent handful of them, and they sent these to me because they wanted me to have a look at the card quality and the foiling and all of that kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm fairly impressed actually. When you go from this, which I was very unimpressed by, to this, I think it is quite good. They actually came all individually, you know, shrink wrapped basically in their own little, like, you know, see-through packs. I guess I don't know exactly how to describe them. You'll see when we open up this, because there's going to be one in here. Yeah, so here are some of the promos here. These are the contenders. There's actually 2 more contenders. Well, in fact, it's these 2. These are the 5 contenders in the game. You can only get these 2 currently either as promos or in the starter deck. We have Magnate, who's green, we have Moxie, who is black, and then we have the other 3 colors represented through these 3. You can find these in booster packs in just a common rarity. They're really easy to pull. But these are like the special fancy promo versions. I really like Clarity. She's my favorite. She reminds me of Jessica Jones, which is a very good thing, and she also has a really cool ability. These are basically like your heroes or your leaders, or however you want to, you know, quantify it. Basically, these start the game in play, and they have various effects when you have 30 life, and they have a bonus effect when you have 10 life or less. So yeah, we have Clarity, we have Mean Streak, he's the blue one, and then we have Torque. Torque is very good. In fact, I do believe Clarity and Torque are both very strong. Most of them are pretty good. I hear the balancing is quite good, but I'm eager to check it out. So you have these 3. You also have this, which I believe is a case topper promo, but it is not a playable card. It's just for collecting and just to look all fancy, and this is Magnate. This art in particular, though, is one of the iconic rares, which is playable, and you should get 2 iconic rares per box, but the full art one with no text is not a playable card. This one is the Alpha Clash Ambassador card. This goes out to ambassadors, and this is actually one of the legendary cards, and there are actually 2 legendary cards in the set, plus an Alpha Rare. And I actually opened up the Alpha Rare and the legendary card in the same booster box. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but the legendary cards are really interesting. They're fairly rare. I heard they're like maybe 1 in 4 boxes or something like that, but they all have this unrivaled keyword, which means you can only have 1 card with the unrivaled keyword in your deck, which means you can, at this time, only have 1 legendary period in your deck. So it's not like Flesh and Blood where you can have a ton of legendaries. You can only have 1, which I think is pretty cool for like budget and balancing reasons. I don't know, I dig it. This one is the box topper promo. You'll see that when we open up the booster box. This one is one of the Christmas promos, and I'm just gonna kind of go through these a little bit quicker. BF22 promo. A lot of these cards, I mean, I think all of these cards are cards you can either find in the booster product or the starter deck. This is one of the best cards in the game. Here comes the Boom. It's like a big board wipe. Really good with Torque. Here is that Koggin promo, the one that Bima did. Now you can kind of get a close-up look of it. You can see Bima's signature here. It's a VIP promo. Really cool, like I said. worked with Beamer before. If you know Flesh and Blood, he's the artist who did like Spellbound Creepers, as well as our 10K celebration artwork. So got 4 of those. Here's some other just kind of like random promos. This is Moxie. She's kind of like a female Iron Man, kind of. She's one of the alpha hunters. She actually hunts the superheroes down, which is pretty cool. Superheroes like Magnate. Most of the alphas, and that's what they call superheroes, most of the alphas are not good people, if all of them. These are super cool. So Ridge, the creator, sent these to me, and these are basically playtest cards. Some of them don't even have, he told me, some of them don't even have proper names. These ones both have Haven, which is the name of this little girl character here. But yeah, these are super cool. I love this kind of stuff, like this like early playtest stuff. Really, really cool. Gives you kind of a glimpse of how things happen. I think that's awesome. Then we have more promo cards. Energy Explosion. The foiling on this one's not great because it's really dark, but it still looks awesome. You can see all the cards are like full art. Even, like I said, even just kind of like the normal non-special versions still have like this full art aspect. Here's another Haven. Oh, I really like Lynn. She looks awesome. She's kind of like a Samus without a helmet. Flare, once again, one of my favorites. Big fan of Flare. I hope they make her into a contender someday. So you can have like a Flare deck. Oh, that'd be sweet. Plasmax, this Dr. Manhattan looking dude. And then we have some tournament promos. And what's really cool about these tournament promos is, well, you get these for playing in tournaments. And this just goes to show that they are, you know, willing to support organized and tournament play, which I think is really good for any, you know, card game that wants to be a competitive card game, and Alpha Clash does. So you have like this Champion Kilimanjaro card, another Plasmax, Koggin, which is a great card, by the way. This is one of the best cards in the game right now. We have another Flare, just beautiful, and this Morak, kind of like it's this alien dude. And as I kind of clean this up, we're gonna set these off to the side. I do want to show you some of the cards I got from the booster box, just to kind of give you an idea. So these are the legendaries. So this one is a legendary, this Alpha Aster. Like I said, there's only 2 legendaries in the game. This one, and then that one that was the Ambassador promo, but also comes as a legendary. And you can tell the rarity by the little gem down here. The golden gem is a legendary. And like I said, these are like 1 in 4 boxes or something like that. And you can only have one of them in your deck, which is pretty cool. But I also happened to open up the alt art version of the legendary, which is the alpha rare. So I opened up these both in the same box, which is uncommon, I would guess. And then this is the iconic rare. They're basically alt art versions of super rares. Super rares are gonna be your big chase cards, because I found that those are probably going to be the hardest ones to get full play sets of. You know, for the legendaries, they're not that big of a deal. You just need one, and honestly, you might not even run them in your deck. They're very situational. They're very high cost cards. They're big splashy effects. They're strong, but they might not always make it into your deck, right? But the epics will. So anyway, these iconics are alt art versions of epics. You get 2 per box. And then you also have your epics, which are, I've been told, around like 4-ish per box. And here you have something like Apex. And then these are just some of my other foils that I opened in the that box there. Like, you can take a look at it. I mean, doesn't this look awesome? This looks super cool. Like I said, I didn't really know that I was missing like an indie superhero game in my life. And no, I'm into this. I'm into this. This is cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and open up some product. Showing you kind of a little bit of what I have already, but we're gonna just dive into a booster box so you can kind of have that full opening experience. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this is something that I would like to see. If I was looking to get into a game, these are the kind of videos, the type of content that I look for. What does the game look like? What does a booster box opening kind of look like? What's the general vibe? That kind of stuff. So let's open up one of these and the booster box. And I got me some sleeves. Let's go. These are Dragon Shield sleeves, sponsor of the channel. I have a link in the description down below, by the way, because, you know, I'm a partner with Dragon Shield. And having a superhero card game to play gives me a use for all these superhero sleeves that I have. I actually have a good number of these. More than just the Joker. I have like Batwoman, or Batgirl, Catwoman, all that good stuff. You know what, let's do this first. I think the packaging, by the way, looks really nice. Yeah, looks good, in my opinion. I think the booster box actually looks a little plain because you just have this here, and it's like this really big, bold font, and then just like nothing else. It doesn't look bad though. I mean, like this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. I've seen significantly worse, and so for this, I'm just gonna kind of rip this open. I think there might be a more elegant way to do this, but yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to rip this open. It does have a single booster pack in it. It is a Kickstarter booster pack. These booster packs are fairly hard to open. Like, I always like to do like a preliminary box opening most of the time before I make a video like this, just so I can have an idea of how the box goes. And the packs are pretty hard. I found that opening them from the bottom tends to be the best, and kind of doing like a thing where I just kind of like try to pull it like that. Seems to be good. There is like a serrated pull tab thing, but it doesn't work very well, I'll be honest. All right, so we have an Amazon Rainforest. This is a Clash Ground. Think of it kind of like an enchantment from Magic or something like that. It has an effect while it's in play. Here's Ancient Protection. This is an action. It does what it does on the card. This is the cost of the card, by the way. Like I said, here's the rarity. This is the cost of the card, and you can actually generate your resources by playing your cards upside down. So it's very much like the World of Warcraft card game. You play your cards upside down, and they count for that color resource. So this is a green card, and it will produce green resources. So anyway, Ancient Protection, we have Clarity, Ready for a Fight. Once again, really dig the artwork here. The little pips right here, those are the number of that color that you need to play in order to play the card. And here's the Power and Toughness, kind of like Magic, this is Clarity's 1911. This is an equipment or an attachment or an accessory. Every game calls it something different, but these are basically like equipment. You play them for their cost down on the field, and then you can attach them to your Clash cards, which are basically like your creatures or minions or whatever you want to call them. And you can attach them like that, and then they get the buffs. Very similar to Magic in that regard, though combat is quite a bit different. Here we have another action. Here we have an accessory, Gotcha. The green here means it's an uncommon. We have Haven, another uncommon. This is a pretty good one. This is a 1/2 for 2. On enter, you get either gain 2 life or draw a card, which is really good. Oh, we have a foil uncommon Weber. Dude's got a sniper rifle, and then, ooh, let's go, dude. We have a foil rare. So that was a double foil pack. Check that out. That's pretty good. Like I said, the foiling in the game looks great. And honestly, most of the cards, if not all the cards, look really good. I do love how the cards are basically full art, and it's still quite easy to tell what color they are without being like super obtrusive or just kind of like obtuse. Yeah, I dig it. So we'll put these off to the side, and let's open up our box. All right, box cutter. And yeah, anyway, I had a lot of fun opening up my first box of Alpha Clash, so I'm pretty keen to open up this one. Like I said, the big hits that we're looking for epics. We should get about 4 epics per box, plus 2 of the alt art epics, which are the iconic rares. And so this is what all the promos came in. They came in like this, you know, see-through booster pack packaging. And like I said, this one is the buy a box promo. You always get it. It's a Magnate Clash card, Magnate the Tyrant, which is cool. So you always get a copy of that. And now we have some boosters to get through. 9 cards per pack. I do believe the box is 24 packs. Yeah, I do believe the box is 24 packs. And so let's get to it. If we pull anything really, really great, we have those Joker cards, or Joker sleeves, to back us up. Yeah, other than that, we're just going to be opening up some packs. I basically am looking for... here comes the boom. Oh man, like I said, the packs are not easy to open. We'll do that from the top. That's one thing I really hope they are fixing with the official like retail release, as well as like set 2. They do plan on releasing multiple sets per year, which first pack, dude. I think we got an iconic there. We have Avenging Guy. This guy's hilarious. Cowling, Maxine, Very cool. Oh, yo, we got a contender card, first pack. Of course. Ooh, double clarity. Hello. Like I said, very much like clarity. Colonel Edwards, and then we have a clarity. Let's go, dude. And then an Apex here. So there's a regular version of the Apex I showed at the beginning. So, yep. First pack, we have a clarity. I do believe, by the way, that all of the epics are foil. They all come in foil. You cannot get them in non-foil. So yeah, this is an alt art version of an epic. There's only, I think, maybe one of each color in the set. So there's maybe only 5 off the top of my head. But there are a decent number of epics overall. And those are the big cards that we really want to be looking out for. Though a lot of the commons here are quite playable. This guy, Torque, very good, I've heard. Very, very good. Lefty. We have a foil avenging guy and a Sonoro. I'm just going to kind of put the foils in one pile and everything else is just going to go off to the side for now. And honestly, I just would like to hear your opinions on Alpha Clash. I know not everyone has the capacity for playing many different card games. For me, my capacity is about 3 or 4. Basically one main game and then some what I'd call like side games or games that I like to play during downtime or when I'm getting burned out of other games. And yeah, I think this one really, dude, we had our second iconic already. This is Haven. Nice. Ooh, we have Clarity's Dagger. What's up? Yeah, anyway, so I understand that, not everyone can play card games or a lot of different card games, but I think Alpha Clash could be a lot of folks' main card game if you're into this kind of style and if you're into this gameplay, right? And like I said, it's a gameplay that's going to be pretty familiar to a lot of people. People who play Magic, even games like, Hearthstone, stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! There are trap cards that you play face down. So, yeah, I think it's going to be immediately accessible for a lot of folks. Here we have another contender card. We have Machina, Magnate. Ooh, another Captain Maxine Riggins foil. Beautiful, beautiful. Then we have a rare Torque. Torque is an interesting character. He basically absorbs energy and then can dish it back out. Yeah, he's an interesting character. In the lore, basically the plot is that something happens that awakens latent superpowers in a lot of people, and those people become alphas, right? And ooh, hey Lynn, definitely like me some Lynn. And we have a foil Amazon Rainforest. Love the foiling on that. Another Apex. But yeah, and then these alphas are compelled to fight each other. Clash. They are compelled to Alpha Clash. And this is something that happens across the galaxy, right? Not just on Earth. It's just something that happens, and it is dictated by these otherworldly powerful beings. In fact, Aster, the legendary that I showed you earlier, is one of those beings. So, yeah, that's kind of basically what it is. The alphas are compelled to fight each other, T-bone. And then you have different factions, right? So you have the alphas that are, trying to fight each other or, dominate humanity. And then you also have the alpha hunters who are hunting them down. Moxie, lady on the playmat here, is one of those people, and they have legit equipment to take down the alphas. And then you have rogue characters. You have just a bunch of different factions, which I think is super cool. And so yeah, I dig the lore. I think the world is cool, and yeah, I like it. Ooh, here we have a foil Cowling. I dig it. And another Torque Energy Overflowing. Power Overwhelming. Yeah, so that's basically kind of what made me really, really give the game another look. It was a combination of listening to the interview that Team Covenant did with Ridge, the creator of the game, and then kind of diving into the world, reading through the graphic novel, and watching some gameplay, and checking out the cards just in a little bit more detail. And yeah, I'm glad I'm checking this out. You have Streaks. It's my, I was gonna say it's my nickname in high school. Streaks. Yeah. So, all that aside, what are we looking for here? Basically, epics are the name of the game. You want to get the epics. On average, it is about, like I said, 4 per box. I should really just get some scissors to open these, to be honest, but that makes me really nervous. The ones that I'm particularly looking for is as a Torque Super Rare, as well as Here Comes the Boom. Those are the 2 big ones. And T-Bow. T-Bow. Look at that full extension kick. But, you know, I do loves me my girl Flair here. And yeah, like I said, the characters are cool. I like the characters. Clarity and Flair are pretty close up there. Magnate's interesting. He's not a good dude. He's like Magnate the Tyrant. So I like that it's very like the boys-ish kind of vibe, you know. Yeah, this is Magnate. Detroit. Good old lefty. Ooh, got a foil rare Lynn who looks excellent, as well as a Solar Smash rare. This is just a foil rare. Once you start to get into the foil rare territory, that's when you start getting the gold lettering, which is really cool. As opposed to the commons and uncommons don't have that lettering. About halfway through the box. And personally, I'm going to put together some competitive decks and jam them against each other. And, you know, I think that'll give me a good idea of how the game truly plays. Like, you have the starter deck experience, right? But I think you don't really get a true idea until you start playing with, like, actual top-level competitive decks. Here we have Moxie, one of the, well, she's like the main Apex hunter, right? The main alpha hunter. Yeah, so, haven't gotten a super yet. In fact, our first box had a really weird super pull. We had only 1 super rare, but we did get a legendary and the alpha. So I was like, you know what? The one super in the first box, not as big of a deal if we're pulling a legendary and an alpha. The alpha rares are apparently very, very hard to pull. They are kind of akin to a Fabled almost, but perhaps not as rare as a Fabled, but still like quite good. Here, another Flare. All right, by quite good, I mean quite rare. Double Magnate. Check out his pecs. Good old full kick T-bone, and then we got the looking over the shoulder pose with Moxie. And then Shugaboo and Haven. Yes. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to see where this game goes, and like I said, very much looking forward to diving into gameplay. I do want to do some gameplay videos here on the channel. I don't really want to do like starter gameplay. I want to do some like actual, like full-on deck gameplay. If you are interested in Alpha Clash, please let me know what type of content you would like to see going forward. I don't plan on doing a ton of content, like, you know, expect the same amount of content for Alpha Clash as you would see for something like Grand Archive here on the channel, or Shadowverse, which is going to be another game I'm going to be checking out soon. If you know me at all, you know that I'm a huge fan of the digital version of Shadowverse. I literally have no more than 4 Shadowverse figures in my background display, and you know what? As Shadowverse becomes more popular, and it is, people will start to actually recognize what those characters are, which I think is pretty funny. Ooh, Missile Barrage. That looks sweet. Just the foil rare, but that looks great. We have Plasmax, good old Dr. Manhattan. We have not pulled a super rare yet. Oh no. They're just all hiding at the bottom of the box. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Ooh, this is a double foil. This is a double foil pack. Double foil pack. But yeah, the art looks great. Apparently they're gonna. Ooh, this is a super rare. There we go. This is Moxie's Heavy Power Armor. You can tell super rare by the purple diamond down here. So that is our first super rare, and then we have Sonoro doing a good old kick there. We'll break out the sleeves. We'll break out the Joker for the super rare. So this is not one that I needed more of. I do believe this is one that comes in the starter deck. So not Here Comes the Boom. We need the boom. Koggin is the other one that a lot of people are looking for because he's just a big flying dude that kills something when it comes into play. But I got all those promos. So personally, I don't need more Koggin, right? But I do need more Here Comes the Boom. So hopefully we can get that. I think there's another one. Like I said, oh yeah, there's the other Torque one as well. The one drop Torque. One drop Torque? Oh, what? This is a legendary, by the way. This is the other legendary. This is Clarify. What else we get in the pack? Bro, dude. So we got the legendary. That's pretty good. As I knock my camera trying to grab the sleeves. So yeah, this is the second legendary. So we have opened up back-to-back legendaries in boxes. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know what? We should read what this does, just in case, to give you an idea of the power of a legendary. So this is an 8-drop, and 3 of those have to be white. And this card says Unrivaled. And like I said, all of the legendaries have that Unrivaled keyword, which means you can only have 1 Unrivaled card in your deck, period. And it says take control of target Alpha Clash card, which is a Clash card, like a unit or minion that has this symbol, the Alpha symbol, which is this one right here. So take control of one of those. An opponent controls and put it into your Clash zone ready, which is great, which means you can attack with it or use it for other things. If you control both a Haven and a Clarity Clash card, you may reduce the resource cost to play this by 2, which is great. So you can play this for 6 and steal one of your opponent's Alpha Clash cards. Like I said, powerful effect, but it's expensive, and from the gameplay I've seen, people just will use it as a resource, just as much as any other card. So, it might be a legendary, it might be hard to pull, it might be even a little expensive, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you 100% even need it in your deck. We have, oh dude, okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is the 1-drop Torque. 1-drop, 1/2 Torque with an awesome effect, and then we have another Torque, double Torque pack. This is a good box, by the way. We got a legendary, and then quite good super rare there. I believe this is the Team Covenant promo, by the way. They have a buy box promo, and for every box you buy, you get a promo. It's a different art version of this Torque, and I think it's like one of the better supers in the game. Gotta love me some Clarity, double Clarity. Just getting all the Clarity. Ooh, this is another double foil pack. This is a super rare, by the way. This is Rizlak the Depraved. I don't know much about this card, but it looks cool. It's one of the aliens. There are aliens, and we have another Sonaro. So he just likes hanging out with the epics. He just wants to hang around with the epics. So this box definitely have more epics here. So that is 3 epics. We already got our 2 iconics. We got a legendary, which is kind of insane. And so we are probably going to have at least 1 more epic in the last 5 packs that we have. But yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to do. Give you an idea of what a booster box opening looks like for Alpha Clash. This particular box, like I said, is a Kickstarter box, but the official release is going to be, dude, we got another super rare. It's going to be very similar in a lot of... Another double foil pack. Look at this. A foil rare Torque. And then this one is a super rare Clarity, which is absolutely beautiful. This is a great way to illustrate this. So these are the same card. This is just the alt art version of this card. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It also makes this card a little bit easier to pull because you pull 2 of the iconics per box, but it's a smaller card pool, I believe. Whereas you pull on average about 4 supers per box, but it's a much larger card pool. So pulling a specific super, it's probably pretty close, but there's more variety in the supers. So anyway, yeah. And I basically found that supers are the ones that you're really chasing for because you need your play sets of your supers and not really it's just a regular old Torque. And I do like Moxie, she's cool. And the legendary, so I have this legendary, right? I don't need another one. I just have it now. And I might not even needed that one if I didn't want to play, because like I said, you can only have one per your deck. So I already had Aster, and I was like, you know what, maybe I just want to play Aster and not this mind control card. Depends on the colors, right? Depends on the colors, but yeah. I like that. I like that. You can only have one legendary per deck. Pretty cool. We have, ooh, okay, so this is a foil contender. Really, really cool. Very similar to those promos that I was showing you. Let me grab one here. So this is the promo version. The only difference is that the numbers and the letters in the titles and stuff are gold foil, as well as the little symbol down here in the promo, whereas just the regular foil doesn't have the gold stuff. But still looks great, like really good. I'm not sure the value on any of the stuff because honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I just want to play a game that is cool and fun and has good art. And this game seems to fill that bill right now. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And like I said, the boxes, you can get the booster boxes from the Team Covenant subscription for like $60, $67 a box, which seems pretty good for booster boxes these days. There's another Torque. Get a lot of Torques. And then we have our very last booster pack. All right, final thoughts for today's video. What is Alpha Clash and should you play it? If you like the idea of an indie superhero trading card game with good art, and I would like to say that they've even said that the art in the next set is going to be even better. They're going to be using more industry veterans for comic books and other kind of stuff. So I'm really, really, curious to see where they're going, because I thought this art already looked, what? What? Okay, hold on. This is the alpha rare. This is the second alpha rare. All right, that's insane luck. All right, that's insane luck. So we pulled Legendary Clarity and Alpha Aster, same box. And then in the first box I opened up Alpha Aster and Alpha Rare Alpha Aster. That is remarkable. That I will say that is remarkable. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. I was in the middle of saying that if the idea of an indie superhero trading card game with great art, great gameplay appeals to you, I think this is worth checking out. There is that starter product here that is available for, I want to say like 25 to 30 bucks. I think it's worth it. It's a great way to try out the game. We're going to do a full opening and review of this in a future video, so if you'd like to wait for that, just stick around. But overall, this is fun. This is fun. This has the makings for my third or fourth card game, right? Grand Archive and Flesh and Blood are the two games that I focus on, mostly Flesh and Blood. We have Grand Archive kind of as a second. And then I'm going to be playing some Shadowverse, and I think this could slot into there too, right? As something that I, have a deck for, and then I play occasionally, maybe cover occasionally every new set. I love the idea of the indie superhero world. I keep saying that, but the idea just is super cool to me. Just the superhero world that's not Marvel or DC, and I like my Marvel and I like my DC as much as anyone else, but at the end of the day, I like seeing these new IPs and new ideas and all of this kind of stuff. Huge fan of that. I think the cards do look great. The card quality, we'll show the card quality on, we'll show it on the highest rarity here. This is the Alpha rare. By the way, you can tell by this black gem on the bottom. This is the Alt Art Legendary. And we're gonna test the card quality on the highest rarity card, right? This is nice. This is really nice. And you can take a look at the foiling on it. This just looks really good. So after a pretty bad initial first impressions, I've kind of turned around on Alpha Clash. I think this game is great. I can't wait to play with fully tuned competitive decks to get a true feeling of how the game really plays. But what I've played so far has been fun. The pack openings have been fun, other than the packs being kind of a pain in the butt. The cards look amazing. Look at this. Cards look amazing, and they want the cards to be Like here's some like the non-human stuff. Look at this thing looks great. Like they want the game to even look better going forward. They have, you know, more graphic novels in the works. They have an actual novel in the works. I think this is a game you should pay attention to. Even if you're not going to pick it up or buy anything right now, if this looks like it would appeal to you, I think you should keep an eye on it and pay attention to it, because I think there's the makings of something really special here. So yeah, those are my kind of closing thoughts here on Alpha Clash. Expect a starter deck opening and review in the near future, and hopefully some high-level gameplay with some fully tuned decks so you can get an idea of how Alpha Clash really plays. And if you have any other ideas and suggestions for videos that you would like to see regarding Alpha Clash, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, taking the time to hang out with me today, talk about some new awesome indie card games like Alpha Clash, and we'll see you next time.